symbol of love. You know, in the early days, if a young Austrian guy really cared for an Austrian girl, he'd prove it to her by climbing a mountain, picking that flower, and then giving it to her. Now, the only thing wrong with that is the flower only grows on the highest mountains, way out on ledges. It's dangerous trying to pick that flower. And tragically, a lot of young Austrian men have lost their lives just trying to pick that flower for their girlfriends. That's why the population is so low. But we're lucky nowadays because we can get that flower in gift shops, and they've seen you coming. They'll actually sell you Edelweiss seeds. All you need is a mountain. Now, we used to give out little packages of Edelweiss seeds, kind of a thank you for being on the tour. We had to stop. All the Australians were getting arrested at the airport when they got back home. So we don't do it anymore. But we got something else for you to see a little later, though. Now, do you remember the scene? The Nazis were trying to start their cars, and they wouldn't start.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, we saw these two nuns. The two nuns looked at the Reverend Mother and said, "Forgive us, for we have sinned." And they pulled these car parts out. Remember that scene? The mechanic nuns. Do you remember the car parts they had? One of those nuns had all the wires and the coil in her hand. The other one had something that looked like the distributor.
Yeah.
They got those car parts out in about 3 minutes without getting dirty and without tools because they were nuns. Hollywood. But the scene was filmed at a fantastic abbey called the Nunberg Abbey. When we get to the end of the street, we'll make a left turn, you'll see the Nunberg Abbey. The church in the abbey is the only church in Salzburg with a red onion-shaped dome, built in the year 700, started as an abbey in 714. You're not allowed to visit the abbey. It isn't done. You are allowed to visit the church that's in it. And if you're lucky, you'll hear the nuns sing. It usually happens between 5:15 and 5:30 in the evening. It lends a wonderful atmosphere to the whole church. You know, this movie, The Sound of Music, is loosely based on what really happened. The Baron's wife died of scarlet fever. He needed someone to take care of his children when he wasn't here. He called up the Nunberg Abbey. Maria went to take care of the children. That really did happen. You know, while we're out in the countryside, you can flip through that Sound of Music keepsake book that's for sale out there. You'll see some wonderful